Welcome inside Nippert Stadium. Another beautiful day for women's lacrosse as the Cincinnati Bearcats take on the Central Michigan Chippewas alongside Christian Pagan. I'm Alex Perez. Cincinnati got their first win against Robert Morris, executed its first ever program shutout against them in a 15-0 win on Sunday. Christian, what do the Bearcats got to do to maybe not hold that shutout, but definitely keep them to less than 10, maybe even 5 goals?
Well, if I'm the Bearcats defense, you have to make Central Michigan uncomfortable. You know, this year, Central Michigan has struggled. They are 0-3 this year, playing some tough opponents, including number 2 ranked Notre Dame. But you have to play great defense inside the fan and great perimeter defense outside the fan. You have to force Central Michigan to work around the ball, control possession, and potentially just overall make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, like you said, the Chippewas are 0-3 this year. Lost to Butler in their season opener 13-12. Sky DePrado, their leading goal scorer, had 6 goals against Butler, has not found the back of the cage since. And then, like you said, lost to number 7 Notre Dame, ranked then, currently now number 2, 22-3, and then lost to Vanderbilt 19-4. What does Central Michigan got to do to get the offense going, hopefully try and get their first win today against the Bearcats?
Well, if I'm Central Michigan, I'm going to have to overload the fan. Throw in your midfielders, stay with your attackers, work the ball around, and play with tempo, because we saw against Michigan that the Bearcats defense really struggled with tempo, because Michigan, they could play with really fast tempo and then really slow down the game. They can control possession, which is exactly what they did. But even in those long possessions, the Bearcats prevailed. They had a couple of stops and forced a few 90-second violations. But if I'm Central Michigan, I'm playing with tempo today.
Yeah, you got to play with tempo against the Bearcats defense. They seem to struggle with that a little bit against Michigan, who Central Michigan will play Michigan in a couple of weeks. They also will take on number 4 Northwestern in a couple of weeks. That will be taking place on March 3rd. Then they face number 6 Michigan on March 9th, who the Bearcats lost to 14-4. Someone quiet in that game was Cameron Callahan, but she has not been quiet lately. Had 6 goals against Robert Morris. Was back-to-back American Athletic Conference weekly honor rolls. You got to get her in the offense, as well as Lauren Ottensmeyer, who came off a 5-goal performance against the Robert Morris.
You mentioned Cameron Callahan. So far, 13 goals this year, including 6 in the win versus Robert Morris. For the Cincinnati attack, just keep doing what you're doing like you did against Robert Morris. They did not have any goals off free position shots, but that's okay. If you're the Bearcats, give the ball to your playmakers and let them go to work.
Yeah, speaking of playmakers, Ava Geller, she's back in the lineup today. Did not play versus Robert Morris due to an injury. Still looking for her first goal this season. Had 18 assists last year, which led the team 42 goals and 60 points, both second behind Cameron Callahan. I think Ava Geller, too, coming back from injury, I think you're going to find her with a little bit of fire, considering she still has not gotten her first goal this year.
Yeah, and we were talking about a pregame that you think she will get her first goal tonight. Or today, rather, and I think that's definitely a true possibility. If you're Cincinnati, there's an opportunity where you can overload the fan by having your midfielders in there as well and try to confuse the Central Michigan defense.
All right, as the teams start to line up for the anthem, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the start of the game. You're listening to UC Women's Lacrosse on Bearcats Radio. Here we are back inside Nippert Stadium as the players are being introduced right now for the Bearcats. We will introduce the starting lineup for the Chippewas and the Bearcats as well. So starting at midfield, number 2, Natalie DeSanto. Starting at midfield, number 6, Sandy Edwards. Starting at number 10, the attackman, Sadie Hinkle. Starting at number 13, the midi, McKenna Hoon. Starting at defense, number 16, Abigail Layer. Starting at defense, number 15, Margaret English. Starting at defense, number 20, Ava Regetz. Starting at defense, number 22, Josie Allen. Starting in the cage, number 28, Alexa Martell. Starting in defense, number 33, Sophia DeGeorge. Starting at attackman, number 37, Sky DePrado. Starting at attackman, number 38, Amanda Hildebrandt. And starting at midfield, number 41, Hannah Wenger. And then now for the Bearcats. Starting lineup for them, starting at attack, number 4, Cameron Callahan. Starting at defense, number 9, Alexis Rich. Starting at starting at midi, number 12, Ava Geller. Starting at midfield, number 17, Grace Jenny. Starting at midfield, number 18, Mia Fedorovich. Starting on attack, number 27, Elizabeth Murphy. Starting at midi, number 28, Lindsay Dakota. Starting at defense, number 29, Sophia Finati. Starting at midfield, number 30, Lauren Ottensmeyer. Starting at defense, number 35, Grace Hirschman. Starting at defense, number 41, Danny Milkvey. And starting in the cage for the Bearcats, number 3, Victoria Marks. History matchup between the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Bearcats lead the all-time matchup 7-1, with the first matchup being in 2016. Last year won 9-4 in Central Michigan, in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. They have won 4 straight. Cincinnati leads it 4-0 with a four-game win streak. Central Michigan again lost 4 straight to the Bearcats. Have lost 3 straight to open the season. They have won the MAC the past 2 years and have been to the NCAA tourney. Central Michigan, not a team that's going to go away against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and when you look at last year, they started 1-4, and as you mentioned, they won the MAC that year. They closed out the season winning 8 of their last 11 games to make the NCAA tournament. And the same thing happened with the Bearcats last year. You know, they started off kind of slow, but then they picked it up as the season went on. They didn't make the tournament, unfortunately. But these teams can show that when they do have a slow start, they always find a way to rebound and bounce back.
Central Michigan last year, they lost to Kent State and Robert Morris in the regular season. Ended up beating both of them in the MAC tournament last year to go on to the NCAA tourney. They lost in 2022 to number 4 Northwestern and then number 15 Michigan in 2023. Cincinnati joining the Big 12 in women's lacrosse next year. They will be joined alongside San Diego State, UC Davis, and as well as American Athletic Conference rival Florida Gators. They will all be in the Big 12 next year. Florida is also a powerhouse in lacrosse. I believe they were ranked top 10 in the preseason poll. They have not had a great start to the season as they started 1-2. They will be facing Florida on April 20th at 12 p.m. here at Nippert Stadium. Coming up for the Bearcats, they will play on Sunday at Butler in Indianapolis at 1 p.m. And then next Thursday against Youngstown State, another MAC division lacrosse team at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Today's theme for the game here at the stadium is Beach Day. It is a nice day out, but I don't think it's nice enough for people to be in swim trunks and Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, temperatures are hovering around the high 50s, low 60s. It is quite sunny, but still a few clouds are starting to roll in here in the Cincinnati metro area. Not the ideal day for a beach theme, but overall, it's a nice spring day to wear a nice sweater and some nice jogging pants.
Yeah, I wore a shirt and some T-shirt and some shorts. It's a little cold on the walk here. Had to stay in the sun, but nonetheless, a couple of fans showing out for this women's lacrosse team, hoping to get a win here today against Central Michigan and even up their record at 2-2. Julie Rose, the lead draw control specialist for the Bearcats, will not be starting today. If I had to guess, it would be Danny Milkvey starting at the draw control. Had 114 draw controls last year, holds a single season record, which beat her sister Sam's in 2019.
Talk about a storyline right there. Wow.
Yeah, had 6.3 draw controls a game last season. Led the American Athletic Conference, 18th nationally. Hasn't seen much of the draw controls this season, but does lead the team in ground balls with 5. She is tied into the ground ball lead along with Alexis Rich and Julie Rose, who has been the draw control specialist this year. So players start to take the field. Goalies start to go to their respective cages.
So here in the last home game against Michigan, the Bearcats had a great start. In that first 8 minutes, they scored and they held Michigan scoreless. They played some great defense there, but then Michigan's talent and depth started to take over that game. So a key for the Bearcats today would be to have a great start like they did and continue to have that momentum roll out through the rest of the game.
Yeah, Allie Keith, who was not starting but did start the scoring for the Bearcats against Michigan. She got her first career goal against them, had 2 ground balls and 1 caused turnover in that game as well. So they will line up in the draw control. Danny Milkvey will be back to take the draw control alongside Hannah Wenger, who is from Loveland High School, just about 25 minutes from here. Back in her home city. A couple of Cincinnati natives, as well as Josie Allen. And then number 24, Victoria Chesson. Referee is getting ready to place the ball between the sticks. The girls line up around the 10-yard circle, extending to each 40. Whistle blows, and we're underway as the ball is up in the air, and the first draw control held for the Bearcats. Controlling that was Grace Jenny. Here's Ottensmeyer at the top of the fan. They're looking to work quick. Got its stick checked out of her stick as she's on the far side of the field. Brings it back to Ava Geller at the top of the fan. Geller going to her right. Looks. Back at X now. That's Murphy with it. Murphy on the extended goal line now at X for Dakota. In front, she found Joya, and right away, the Bearcats score. 28 seconds in, it's Kylie Joya.
Great start for the Bearcats. The Bearcats were working the ball around, and they got it around the net and inside, like you mentioned. Looks like it was some miscommunication between the Central Michigan defense, and Joya was almost left wide open and had a nice shot just a few feet away from the goal.
Yeah, Kylie Joya just able to find a seam wide open, and passing it right to her was Lindsay Dakota. Kylie Joya just puts it top left in the cage, and it's 1-0 Bearcats with 14:32 to go.
So the Bearcats have to let this momentum carry way out the rest of the match, including on efforts on defense and offense.
Kylie Joya had 27 goals in the 2023 season, improving from 14 in her freshman year. Had 4 hat tricks over 6 games in 2023. UC was 6-1 when Joya scored 2+ goals, and she's already on the board today. So again, to take the draw control for the Bearcats is Milkvey. This time Central Michigan winning it. Controlling it off the draw control is Josie Allen. She's going all the way back to her defensive side of the field. Well, she'll pass it to Martell. Martell makes a long pass all the way up the field for Anna Farrar. She'll get into the restraining line on the right side. She'll work it behind the net. Michigan goes to work. Sadie Hinkle with it. Up to the top now with Sky DePrado. To the right side for McKenna Hoon. Gives it to DeSanto. DeSanto loses the ball up in the air, still on the ground. Kicked away from DeSanto and finally picked up by Anna Farrar, but looks like a violation on Central Michigan, so the Bearcats will take over. They'll start the clear. Alexis Rich on the far side, coming to the near side. Switches back. Gives it over to Murphy. Murphy a long pass, crossfield to Kylie Joya, who already scored today. Joya inside the restraining line to Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer out of her stick, able to pick it up and do a little twirl to keep it in her stick. She's still with it, now behind the cage. Coming out on the far side. Being defended there by Abigail Layer. Back at X now. It's Murphy. Murphy trying to work her way to the top side of the fan. She finds in front Jenny, and that went off the stick of Martell. And it'll be Bearcats ball still. Kylie Joy will bring it in. Starting at X now, and cutting to the front, and she scores. It's Ava Geller. I told you Ava Geller would get her first goal today, and she does so with 12:57 left in the first quarter.
So the Bearcats play with tempo on that inbounds, and it looks like Central Michigan was just unprepared right there. Some of the defense were confused that the ball was in play, and Geller just found a nice crease right in front of the goal, and that's at that point just an easy tap in. And you mentioned she's going to get her first goal of the year, and she did. Now, you also mentioned she would get a hat trick, so she needs 2 more. But a nice start for the Bearcats, up 2-0, just over 2 minutes in this ballgame.
A quick start for the Bearcats. 2 minutes, 3 seconds has passed, and already 2 goals from the Bearcats. One from Kylie Joya, 28 seconds in, and another from Ava Geller, who finally gets her first of the season. Just what a shot, just finding the open space in front, inside the fan. And she's going to score from right outside the crease every single time.
Yeah, and the Bearcats are playing really well inside the fan with a lot of cuts and creases, getting that open space. And it's really confusing the Central Michigan defense, which is allowing them to get these one-on-one opportunities against the goalie so close to the net, which essentially are tap-ins at that point.
Just a great feed, too, from Lindsay Dakota, assisting on both goals today. And Central Michigan quickly takes a timeout. Head coach Amelia Ward did not like what she saw. Amelia Ward, she's in her second season with Central Michigan, 10-12 all time. She was a volunteer assistant coach at Michigan in 2022 and then an assistant coach at Marquette in 2020 and 2021, who the Bearcats have played this year and lost to 18-12. Like you said, Christian, a lot of tempo in this game. You said Central Michigan had to have the tempo to beat the Bearcats, and it seems the vice versa right now. The Bearcats are having the tempo to beat Central Michigan.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, it's really confusing the Central Michigan defense. So maybe you consider dropping down your midfield to help stop this fiery Bearcat attack, but you do sacrifice, that position you have within the midfield of the whole field. So, I mean, decisions being made from Central Michigan, and the main question is, how do you stop this offense?
Yeah, you got to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Everybody knows their slides. They have their man. And when cutters come off, you got to make sure you have the switches correct.
It's all about communication within the fan.
So both Milkvey and Hannah Wenger will go to the draw control. Referee placing the ball in between the sticks. Bearcats lead 2-0. And this one fired back towards the offensive side for Central Michigan, and they win the draw control. Picking that up is Josie Allen. Michigan likes to work it back to their defense side, almost as if they don't really want to use the shot clock, all in the offensive side restraining line. Restraining order is something you don't want to see. So here is the Chippewas as they try to go to work. With the inner stick now is Anna Farrar. Now up at the top. Working to the left side. DePrado drops it for DeSanto. Passes it down. Working it at X. And then tried to throw it in front there. That went off a stick of the Bearcats. Central Michigan pulls it out. Here's DePrado. Down to Farrar. Back up to DePrado on the left side of the fan. Over to the right side for Edwards. Working the right side now. Bringing it back up to the top is Hoon. Over for DeSanto. Now over for DePrado. Trying to work it on the extended goal line. Dropping that pass was number 38, Amanda Hildebrandt. Picks it back up. She runs it. And then Alexis Rich clipped her stick, but a little too close to her head. So Central Michigan will start with the ball on the end box behind the goal. Trying to throw that in front there was Hildebrandt. Picked up now by DePrado. DePrado on the right side. And it looks like some kind of foul was committed. 54 seconds on the shot clock. Referee's going to walk towards the substitution box.
Well, while we wait, we have a little game going. Planes that come by. Alex is 2 for 2 in guessing the location of the plane. Quick, what are your guesses?
Oh, I don't know where it went.
Towards the east.
Towards east. Oh, we're going east. I'm going to say Baltimore.
You're not getting this one. Amazon Air.
As game resumes, we'll resume the lacrosse game. We'll finish out of the game later as the Chippewas drop the ball. Now being double teamed is Edwards. Geller all over her, but Edwards gets by her. She's now inside the 8-meter fan.
3 seconds
trying to
shot
shoot,
clock.
and that goes way over. And I'm guessing that there was a discrepancy on the shot clock as there was 54 seconds when the ref blew his whistle, but then only 3 seconds when Edwards took that shot. Nonetheless, the Bearcats start to clear. Here on the left side, it's Haley Joyce Simpson. Bounced in and out of her stick, but she regains possession. Here's Callahan on the far side. Callahan backing outside of the 12-meter fan. Now she's inside the 8-meter fan. To her left, she shoots, she scores! Cameron Callahan getting on the board early today.
A little bit of a around-the-world action right there from the right side of the 12-meter fan on the perimeter. She drove it in all the way inside the 8-meter fan towards the left side of the goal and just shot that one in. I mean, just her speed right there just beat her defender, and she had the edge the entire time and got close to the net and just finished the tap in essentially.
Yeah, like you said, Christian, just almost like an around-the-world style. Just did it all of herself. It was outside of the 12-meter fan and then ran inside, got inside the 8-meter fan, just driving to her left, and was just able to put it against the green in the bottom right past Alexa Martell. And the Bearcats with a 3-0 lead with 10:39 to go in the first quarter.
Great start for the Bearcats right here. I'm sure Coach Thomas is proud, but emphasizing do not let your foot off the gas right here.
Bearcats are even with their opponents in first quarter scoring with 8 goals apiece in their 3 games. They do outshoot their opponents 32-19 in first quarters. The draw control won again by the Chippewas. Here's DePrado on the far side, outside the 12-meter fan. She'll work it behind X. Here's Hildebrandt, trying to work the crease. Pulls back out. Up to the top, it's DePrado. DePrado on the left side, being defended by Keith. Gets it to the extended goal line and bringing it back up. That was number 10, Sadie Hinkle. On the right side now was McKenna Hune. And it looks like it's going to be a free position shot for Hune. I believe they called shooting space there on Haley Joyce Simpson. So here's the free position chance. She runs in and over the net. Over the head of Victoria Marks. Michigan starts with the ball. They work inside the 12-meter fan, being pushed down by Allie Keith with Sky DePrado. Leads the team in goals with 6. Hasn't scored since the opener against Butler, but she does have a great free position opportunity here on the left center hash.
Central Michigan's 1 for 10 this year.
And they make that 2 for 11 as Sky DePrado puts it in the top right of the cage, and they tack on 1.
So does that count as a commentator's jinx? That's kind of borderline, but, you know, kind of a reckless foul right there by Allie Keith to set up the free position shot for Sky DePrado. And, you know, that's just a great finish right there by her to end her scoring drought. Central Michigan now on the board.
With 9:55 to go in the first quarter, Central Michigan finds themselves on the board, still at a 2-goal deficit. DePrado was 0 for 3 in free position shots this year. Make that 1 for 4. Last year, she started 3 games, had 12 games played, 20 goals, 3 assists, and had 4 goals in 3 separate games.
And I think to talk about, for UC coming into this game, the goal differential was -1 compared to Central Michigan's goal differential, which was -35. They've allowed 54 goals entering this game with 3 on the board. That's 57 this year.
Bearcats looking to tack on more as DeSanto was going to retrieve the draw control. She got pushed over by Keith once again. Keith playing very physical today, but ultimately it's leading to turnovers for the Bearcats. Chippewas on the offense. Working it around. The 12-meter fan, it's Wenger. Being defended there by Fanati. Gives it to DePrado, who just scored. To the right side of the fan, it's Edwards. Edwards, little spin move, getting back to the center. And she somehow found DePrado. DePrado got a shot off, twirling around and shooting it underhand, but wide of the net. Chippewas still with the ball as they reverse to the end line, working it around to the left side of the fan. Here's a shot there from number 10, Sadie Hinkle, out of her stick. It was considered a shot attempt, so will not be an out-of-bounds ball on the Chippewas. Here's Edwards on the right side. Looks for the middle, and that one got deflected in front. Ball is still on the ground. Trying to be picked up there by Keith. She finally does so. Keith running with it. She finds Lauren Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer trying to drive to the far side. She gets it back. She shoots just over the cage. Her and Murphy playing catch.
Nice little give and go action right there. She had the chance. Ottensmeyer had it just a little over the net. Sailed over.
Central Michigan a little slow and getting back in coverage. Bearcats will start with the ball. Behind X, it's Dakota. Dakota still behind the cage, works it to the right side for Murphy. Murphy trying to cut inside. She's in the 8-meter fan. Found Joya, but too many sticks to get it through. Bounced in and out of the stick of Joya. Martell being defended on the crease. Bearcats riding hard. Here's Keith. She intercepts the pass. Oh, and an interception there from Martell. A great read. As wide open on the crease was Lauren Ottensmeyer. Chippewas start to clear. They get inside the restraining line. They're outnumbering the Bearcats. They have a 4-on-2 chance. Wenger had it inside the 8-meter fan. Had a chance to pull the trigger, but decided to not. So Chippewas work the offense. Here's Farrar. Up to the top now for Elena Davis. Davis working the left side of the fan. She finds number 13, McKenna Hoon. Back to Wenger on the right side. Here's Farrar. Farrar looking inside the center for Hoon. She shoots. And just went wide, but a whistle was blown before the shot. 7:26 to go in the first quarter.
Central Michigan is really threading the needle on these passes. I mean, we've seen a couple passes so far. It's like, how do they get that in there?
Yeah, just able to, like you said, thread the needle, find the hole. A free position chance here for the Wolverines. Wenger decided to pass it right to Elena Davis. And it'll be another free position chance right at the center hash for Elena Davis. 44 seconds on the shot clock, 7:23 to go. Bearcats lead 3-1. Davis, she shoots. That one got caught in her stick. And Marks able to fall on it as the ball came inside of the crease. Bearcats start to clear. Milkvey with it on the near side, looking for subs out of the box. She finds Joya.
Great pass.
A great 30-yard pass. Here's Ottensmeyer on the left side. A little sidestep. She shoots and just over the cage again. Lauren Ottensmeyer pulling the trigger from the same spot. And just over the cage. Starting at X. And passing it all the way to the top. Geller with it at the top of the fan. Here's to Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer on the left side. Back to Geller. Geller across on the right side now. Working it at X now. It's Murphy. Here's Dakota up to Ottensmeyer. A nice pass. Passes it to Geller. Geller looks, trying to drive the right side. She shoots, and Martell sees that all the way, and she makes the save.
The Bearcats have been great in transition, though. We've seen these past couple times on the counterattack, the Bearcats have really been pushing the transition and beating the Central Michigan with speed.
Yeah, and they're also pressing Central Michigan here on the ride, as Central Michigan is trying to clear. Doing really well in the transition game as Murphy gets the ball on the ground. Trips over the feet.
Goalie's out from Central Michigan.
Tripped over Margaret English. The Bearcats start with it the other way. Ottensmeyer to Callahan. Callahan looks, and shooting space is called. As Callahan was about to rip it, but standing in her way was Abigail Layer. So Callahan will start from the left center hash of the fan. And she gets a chance at a free position.
Expect a shot right here.
Whistle blows. She shoots, and that goes in just past Martell, and that's Callahan's second of the day with 5:51 to go in the first quarter. Bearcats lead 4-1.
So that was very unique because from our vantage point, we couldn't see if that went in or not. We really couldn't, and that free position shot was really right in front of the goal. And if you're Callahan, just drive in, find a space to shoot it, and looks like she tried to go left side of the goal, a little bit off the ground potentially, but overall, great effort by the Bearcats, and that was won by the transition game.
Almost reminiscent of her goal against Michigan, kind of trickled in on the left side. So Bearcats up 4-1 with 5:51 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to UC Women's Lacrosse on Bearcats Radio. Coming out of the media timeout, Bearcats up 4-1. The most recent goal by Cameron Callahan on a free position shot. She is 5 for 6 on the year now. 5:51 to go in the first quarter. And to take the draw control for the Bearcats now is Taya Work, replacing Danny Milkfee. Still in for the draw controls is Hannah Wenger. Taya Work did not play versus Michigan, but she did have one caused turnover versus Marquette. She was also a field hockey team MVP in high school, as well as lacrosse. Referee placing the ball between the sticks. Whistle blows, ball is up in the air. Back down on the ground. They still fight for it. Right between the legs of Taya Work and finally picked up by Wenger. The Chippewas. And Cameron Callahan able to shoot it out of her stick. But it came right to the stick of Elena Davis as the Chippewas start the clear. Here on the near side, it's Josie Allen. Went to Sycamore High School. Gives it to the far side. Chippewas start to go to work. At X now, it's Hildebrandt. Rich on her. Try to pass it, but got caught up by Alexis Rich. Able to knock it out of her stick, and the Bearcats able to cause another turnover. Danny Milkfee on the near side. She's looking for subs. She finds Joya once again coming out of the box. Joya gets the restraining line on the near side of the field. Joya cradling it. Works it behind X. It's Ottensmeyer. Excuse me, that's Dakota up to the top now. Here's Geller, has a free lane, and they call shooting space.
She had that free lane, and it looks like she was about to swing an attack on that one.
Luckily, they called shooting space, or Josie Allen would have had a big gash in her face. She was about to unleash it.
Yeah.
So on the far right side hash, inside the 8-meter fan, Ava Geller gets a free position shot. 4:40 to go in the quarter. She pulls it out to Ottensmeyer at the top of the fan, finds Callahan cutting. Here's Joya picking up the ground ball, up to the top for Callahan, looks, and shooting space called once again. Cameron Callahan already 1 for 1 day on the free position shots. She'll start from the center hash. If I had to bet, she doesn't miss. Whistle blows. She shoots, and in her stick hits Martell. I guess I bet wrong. Announcer's jinx, and we'll get to you.
Jeez, dude.
Chippewas start the clear. Here it's Davis. Came out of her stick, and the ball's on the ground. Picking it up is Ottensmeyer. Cradling it to the near side. She finds Callahan. Callahan on the left hash. Waiting for reinforcements as she was outnumbered by the Chippewa defense. She passes it to Joya. She'll pass it to the far side of the field for Geller. Geller around the 16-yard line. Now back up to the 18. Kind of walking it, letting the offense settle. Dakota with it to the near side for Joya. Going back to the far side behind the cage. Joya finds Ava Geller and right into the stick of Martell. Another save. That's Martell's third save of the day. 3:30 to go in the quarter. Bearcats still up 4-1. Chippewas start the clear. On the far side. Getting the pass is Natalie DeSanto. On the ground now. Stick checking out of her stick was Fanati. She picks it up, and now across midfield, she gives it to Callahan. Here's Callahan. She's sprinting down the left side, finds Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer fakes a shot and then pulls out outside of the 8-meter fan. Gives it to Joya to the near side. Trying to work inside the 8-meter fan, pulls out. Now back down for Dakota. Dakota settles with 67 seconds on the shot clock. Directing traffic. Being defended there by Layer. Here's Ottensmeyer at the top now. Over to Haley Joy Simpson. Simpson backing out. Setting up the offense to the near side for Ottensmeyer on the left hash. At the 20-yard line, she walks towards the middle. Now she stands. Directing Haley Joy Simpson to come out to the 12-meter fan. She'll give it to Simpson. Simpson drives to her right. Passes it to Ottensmeyer. A fake shot. Gets pushed down. No call. Chippewas with the ground ball. That's Josie Allen picking it up. Here's Martell being pressured there by Callahan. Able to escape danger. Gives it to Layer. Layer got pushed there by Ottensmeyer, but they call an extension on Ottensmeyer. Play continues. Chippewa ball coming onto the field. It's Madeline Koser. She'll drop it off, and now the Chippewas go to work to set up the offense. Back at X, it's Natalie DeSanto. Over to Anna Farrar. Up to the top for Edwards. Edwards on the right side of the fan. Up to the top. In the center for DeSanto. Across for DePrado. DePrado trying to cut to her right. Gives it Edwards. A nice cross pass, but intercepted there. Sophia Fanati causing that turnover. That one stick checked out of her stick. 1:27 to go in the quarter. Allie Keefe picking up the ground ball across midfield. She'll pass it to Joya, who comes on. Joya on the left side. She's trying to find Dakota wide open on the back door, but a good read there from Ava Regitz, able to pick up the ground ball. And she's hauling on the far side. Gets to the restraining line, and she'll slow it down. A minute to go in the quarter. Central Michigan probably going to ride this one out to the end of the quarter for the last shot. Here's DePrado with it, out just outside the 12-meter fan. Across for DeSanto to the right side. Now it's Hoon. Hoon back to DePrado. DePrado, a nice little side step. Back out. DePrado got pushed there as she passed it to Sadie Hinkle. I believe she got pushed by Haley Joy Simpson. It'll be a free position shot on the left hash of the 8-meter fan.
Now, is that a bad thing for the Bearcats? Potentially, if they miss off rebound, you get the ball back, and then you get the counterattack going with 35 seconds left to go.
As Victoria Marks saves that one, like you said, Christian, they have time for a counterattack. We saw Michigan last week score a goal in 29 seconds. They also scored a goal in 8 seconds. Kylie Joya over to Ottensmeyer. On the right side, Ottensmeyer driving to the center of the fan. Decided not to shoot. Still with the ball is Ottensmeyer driving back to her left, back to her right. Oh, she had a chance to pull the trigger, but gave it off to Murphy. Murphy looks, trying to find Dakota on the crease out of her stick and picked up by Martell, and that will end the quarter. So Bearcats, 3 quick goals from Joya, Geller, and Callahan. DePrado tacking one on for Central Michigan, and then Callahan getting a free position shot to make it a 4-1 game at the end of one. You're listening to UC Women's Lacrosse on Bearcats Radio. Here we are back for the start of the second quarter. Bearcats up 4-1 against the Chippewas. Goals coming from Kylie Joya, Ava Geller, and a pair by Cameron Callahan. But a story that hasn't been told right now is Alexa Martell. She has 3 saves already, and all on pretty high-quality chances for the Bearcats.
Yeah, when you look at the start of the game, the Bearcats were really dominating on offense, and it looked like it was going to be a rout into a blowout. But over the last second half of the first quarter, the Chippewas really improved on defense. And as you mentioned, Alexa Martell started getting some saves, and that's really been giving Central Michigan opportunities to go out and attack and stay in this game.
Alexa Martell, she is no stranger to the Bearcats, had 17 saves last year in the 9-4 loss against them, second highest of her 2023 season. She also started in 15 games of all 18 that she appeared in, had 175 saves, and posted a .457 save percentage last year. This year, she started in all 3 games, has 24 saves and 44 goals against. So far, doing so good for the Chippewas. Chippewas, though, do have 9 turnovers in that first quarter. Bearcats caused 5 of them.
Yep, and another thing, too, would be draw controls. We mentioned it in the Michigan game, how it was a problem for Cincinnati. Here in this game, Bearcats are losing the draw control battle 5-1, so some things to improve upon if you're the Bearcats, and Coach Gina Thomas be winning draw controls and limiting your turnovers.
Yeah, Danny Milkvie, she won her first draw control, lost the next 4, so she decided to put Taya Work in this time. Taya Work wins it for Ottensmeyer, picks it up, she has a breakaway, she shoots and scores! Lauren Ottensmeyer, like you said, Christian, off the draw controls, Bearcats win one, and they put one in 8 seconds into the quarter.
8 seconds, and you go 50 yards. Reminds me of Michigan last Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays ago, excuse me, but great start for the Bearcats to win the second quarter, and it starts with the draw controls. Bearcats win the draw control, and that lets the offense pave the way, and Ottensmeyer just got past the entire Chippewa defense and had a one-on-one against the goalie, which is always, or most likely, always going to go towards the hitter or the attacker.
It's almost like Ottensmeyer had a magnet on her stick for the ball. She was surrounded by 3 defensemen for the Chippewas, just able to seek it out like a missile and pick it up in her stick and run 30 yards to the cage and put it in the top left past Martell.
Her 10th goal this year as well.
Lauren Ottensmeyer having a lot of success The senior has already had 2 hat tricks this season, had 8 hat tricks in 2023, 39 goals, third on the team. And a violation off the draw control will go to the Bearcats. So Lexi Wolf picking it up, gives it to the far side for Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer trying to dodge, pulls it back out to the right side for Joya. And there's a whistle blown, might be too many, and there is too many for Central Michigan. So it'll be a green card to Hannah Wenger, as the Bearcats will go up a man for 1 minute.
Should be another opportunity for Cincinnati to capitalize on their lead.
Look for them to utilize Ava Geller and Cameron Callahan, especially in these man-up offense situations. They work the ball at X here at the top now. It's Jenny over to Joya. Working the ball fast. Murphy to Jenny. Riding down. She shoots and she scores! Grace Jenny, that's her first of the season. A man up, and the Bearcats lead 6-1 with 14:25 to go in the quarter.
And the reason why Grace Jenny got so open is because the Bearcats were playing with tempo and moving the ball around. And when you're a man up with these quick passes and controlling the possession, that can really confuse the Central Michigan defense. And it seemed like it was only a matter of time before a Bearcat would find a crease. And this had to be Grace Jenny. She got the crease, drove in, and shot it from about 5 yards out in the top left corner. Great finish by the Bearcats, and overall great possession and great start by the Bearcats to begin the second quarter.
Another fast start for the Bearcats in both quarters, finding 1 goal in the first 28 seconds of the first quarter, and then finding 2 goals in the first 35 seconds of the second quarter. Grace Jenny had 1 assist against Robert Morris, has 2 assists on the season. Like I said, that was our first goal of the season. She was a University of Louisville transfer in 2023, as well as an academic All-American Athletic Conference. Bearcats won the draw control. Joya comes on to the right side. She's got it now after getting the pass from Callahan. Trying to work below the cage, and then she brings it up to the top. Try to pass it to the middle, but sticked away. Picks up the ground ball is Joya, though. Here's Murphy. Murphy getting the pass from Joya, decides to settle down the offense. Passes it to Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer directing traffic at the top of the fan. Trying to dodge. Passes it out for Wolf. Wolf trying to dodge to the right. Looks. Passes it to Murphy. Murphy to her left. She shoots and she scores! Elizabeth Murphy finding herself on the board today.
Bearcats sharing the wealth right here, especially in the second quarter. 3 different goal scorers to begin in the first 87 seconds of this quarter. And honestly, it's just the great passing and controlling the possessions is what allows the Bearcats to have great success here in the second quarter.
Elizabeth Murphy recorded a point in every single game she played last year and has also done so this year with that goal. Had 1 goal and 1 assist against Robert Morris. That's her 3rd goal of the season. Last year, she had 13 goals and 9 assists before a season-ending lower body injury, and it's good to see that she's back and healthy.
Yeah, and what I noticed when I was prepping for lacrosse is that there's a lot of season-ending injuries, and you know our job is to tell the story of the athlete, and some stories are just really heartwarming.
Yeah, Lindsay Dakota also missed the 2022 season due to injury. She was a starter today. Ava Geller coming back from injury. Alexis Slapp, who was also the goalkeeper for the Bearcats last year, the primary one, has had some injury this season. Also competing for a spot against a grad student, Victoria Marks, is a tough task to hold. Bearcats got a foul off the draw control, so they will be on offense once again. Chippewas have not had the ball across the 50 yet this quarter. Still only 2 minutes in, but 3 goals already scored by the Bearcats.
And that deals with the fouls that Central Michigan has commit off the draw controls. We saw in last possession, and we just saw it here on this possession. Will the Bearcats capitalize?
Cutting is Callahan. She gets the pass and then lost it. Trying to pick up the ground ball, but kicked away from her. But picking it up is Elizabeth Murphy. At the top now, it's Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer has a lane, dodges to her right. Oh, and a great stick there from Abigail Lair. Able to just get it out and tip the ball. Or else Ottensmeyer had an absolute rocket to the top left.
She had a great move, too, to get past her defender. She would have been a one-on-one with the goalie, but the stick of the defender just deflected the trajectory of that shot.
We saw Ottensmeyer have a couple of dance moves against Michigan last week. Trying to do so again this week. Chippewas on the clear. They get to the restraining line. Clear is successful. It's DePrado now on the near side of the field. Passes it up to DeSanto. DeSanto up to the top of the fan for Edwards. Edwards cut into her left to DePrado on the left side. Pulls it outside of the 12-meter fan. Back down to the 8-meter fan. Working it at X now. DePrado finally, or excuse me, that's DeSanto with it. Getting the pass from Hilker. A cross-field pass. And a shot saved by Marks. That shot coming from Amelia Sarup. Chippewas still with the ball. Sarup now on the right side. To the left side for DePrado. For now DeSanto on the left hash. Filling DePrado's spot. Passes it over to Edwards. Edwards on the right hash. Trying to dodge. And extending her arms was Ava Geller. So it looks like it'll be a free position chance for Sandy Edwards. A 5'6" senior, played 19 games last year at 12 starts. MAC All Academic Team Selection. She's on the right center hash for the free position. The whistle blows. She shoots and got checked as she shot it, so not a great shot. But the Chippewas stay with the ball. 11:23 to go in the quarter. DeSanto now at the top. It's Sarup, defended by Geller. Working it to the extended goal line now at X, the Chippewas. Here's Hilker. Or excuse me, Hinkle. Back at X, getting it to DeSanto. DeSanto trying to pass it to DePrado, but a little body check there from Allie Keith. Here's Sophia Fanati. She picks up the ground ball. Across for Elizabeth Murphy. Finds Cameron Callahan. Now on the far side, it's Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer trying to dodge, a little spin move. Back out to Geller at the top of the fan. Geller to Joya, who's wide open on the right side. She shoots and she scores! Kylie Joya able to rip it sidearm top left for a Bearcats 8-1 lead.
A little bit of sidearm action right there by Kylie Joya. That one was about 6 yards away, I would say, from the right side in a difficult angle. And just the speed of that shot, the pace of it, got past the goalie and found its way to hit the net in the top left bin.
Yeah, Kylie Joya getting the pass from Geller, just wide open on the right hash of the fan. Able to take one step down and just fire it right in the top 90 of the cage past Alexa Martel. You can see the excitement on her face as she throws her stick and just kind of squats down.
That shot, it got past her defender with that sidearm action. She got away, found a way to go around her, shot it perfectly in the top left. I mean, just a great goal right there.
Able to avoid a shooting space call is Kylie Joya. Had one goal coming in today's game and now already has two. And like I said earlier, UC is 6-1 when Joya scores 2+ goals. So far, it's looking promising today. Still plenty of time left in the game. The draw control is picked up by Josie Allen, knocked out of her stick by Jenny. Ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it was last touched by Central Michigan, so the Bearcats will retain possession. Here's Ottensmeyer running with it. Over to Callahan on the far side. Callahan cutting towards the middle. She's trying to go downhill, decides not to. Being defended by two. Here's Murphy now, coming up from X. Pulls it up to the right side of the field. Little underhand pass to Dakota, who passes it over to Ottensmeyer. Back to Dakota. In her left hand on the right side. Switches to her right. Finds a cutting. Callahan off the post. Looking for the hat trick goal was Callahan. And first to the end line was Natalie DeSanto. So it'll be Chippewa's ball, but what a chance there from Cameron Callahan.
She's going to want that one back. She found a nice crease right in front of the goalie. Had the one-on-one just off the crossbar.
Chippewas successful on the clear as Josie Allen gets in the restraining line. Thought about shooting and decides not to. It's DeSanto at the top with it. Over to DePrado. DePrado Working it down to the left side, and a shot there from number 10, Sadie Hinkle. Saved by Marks. And the Bearcats start to clear, and that one, Fanati tried to pass, but a good stick check from Sky DePrado goes out of bounds, and the Chippewas will get possession back. Here's DeSanto. Gives it across. It's Sarup. They try to work it at X now. It's Hildebrandt. Up to Hinkle. Up. For DePrado. Gives it back to Wenger. At the top of the fan is DeSanto. Now Sarup. Trying to work towards the middle. Works back towards the left side. A good stick check from Allie Keith, but being pushed from behind by Ava LaRuffa, excuse me. She's appeared in all 3 games this season. Ava LaRuffa, a 3-time All-District defenseman in 2021 and 2023. But a free position chance here for the Chippewas. Here's a shot from Sarup and saved by Marks. 8:35 to go in the first half. Here's Hirschman. Able to sidestep her defenseman. Gets across midfield, passes it to Murphy. Murphy across the restraining line for Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer, little sidestep. Thought about shooting it. Gives it to Dakota. Tried to pass it to Jenny, who had a wide open lane, but just over her head. Ball's on the ground, but finally picked up by Dakota right around the 20-yard line. Dakota starts with the ball at the 20-yard line. Walking towards the middle. Gives it to Ottensmeyer. Out of her stick and back in it. Ottensmeyer dodging to her left. Telling cutters to come. Grace Jenny was wide open, but she decided not to pass it. Here's Joya at X. Joya finds Callahan. Easy goal for Cameron Callahan. Kylie Joya able to find Callahan cutting down wide open on the crease, and that is Callahan's 3rd hat trick of the season.
Yeah, and with that Joya pass, I thought she was going to find Callahan too late as the defense collapsed on her, as Callahan just cutting off the right side. She was literally standing right outside the perimeter zone of the goalie, just waiting for that ball to come in, and once she got it, just a nice little tap in because she's that close. And overall, great effort by the Bearcats. They're up 9-1 now with 7:48 left to go in the second quarter.
Callahan got pushed pretty hard after the goal. Not sure if there's going to be a call on it, if there's going to be a green or yellow card. But with 7:48 to go, Bearcats up 9-1 on the Callahan hat trick goal. You're listening to UC Women's Lacrosse on Bearcats Radio. Back inside Nippert Stadium alongside Christian Pagan, I'm Alex Perez. 7:48 to go in the second quarter. Bearcats up 9-1. Callahan with 3 goals. Joya with 2 goals and an assist. You're Central Michigan. You're down by 8. Your head coach, Amelia Ward. What do you say to your team in this situation?
Well, I know you're down by 8, but just the rest of this game will determine the team's character. To be real, there's still another half to be played, and anything could happen. So you're not out the woods yet, especially for Cincinnati. You cannot let the foot off the gas. But if you're Coach Amelia Ward, you're telling your team, you still got a whole another half left to be played. You still have 7 minutes and 48 seconds left of this quarter to be played. there's a ton of game left to be played. But if it gets to the point where it's out of control, then how they play in that circumstance determines the character of this team. If they're resilient and not giving up when they're down big, that's good. But if they give up, then that's going to be a problem if you're Coach Ward for your team.
And as we return to action, it looks like there was a foul on the Bearcats at the end of that goal or after that goal. So they will be a man down. Teo Work is going to be in the box. Not exactly sure if it's a green card or a yellow card. Green card is a 1-minute penalty. Yellow card is 2 minutes. This ball is on the ground, but picked up by the Chippewas, and they will try to start their man-up offense. DePrado with it, working towards the middle. She finds inside the fan. Hoon passes it out to DeSanto. Working it around now, it's Celia Dow. And they call a shooting space there as Hannah Wenger getting the pass from Celia Dow is about to pull the trigger. Grace Jenny just in her way. A free position chance from the left side. Central Michigan 1 for 6. Can they tack on another one here? Here's a shot. Saved by Marks. But ball comes out of her stick and back to Wenger. So Central Michigan still on the offense. Shot clock reset to 60. Here's DePrado starting up at the top. 7 minutes to go in the quarter. DePrado getting it back from Wenger. She passes over to the far side for DeSanto. Now to the extended goal line for, that was number 38, Amanda Hildebrandt. Passed it to number 10, Sadie Hinkle, and the shot saved by Victoria Marks. And the Bearcats start with the clear.
And that was a green card on the Bearcats, so it was only a 1-minute penalty. Great defense right there by the Bearcats. That was an opportunity for Central Michigan to capitalize and get back on the scoring track, but great defense by the Bearcats and great goalkeeping by Victoria Marks.
So the Bearcats now with it. Trying to work the offense. Joy on the far side. Up to the top of the fan for Ottensmeyer. Across for Wolf. On the right side to the left hash for Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer on the left hash at the 22-yard line. Back to Work on the right hash. Work trying to work the right side. Looks. Now gives it to X. Here's Murphy. Murphy with it. Creeping to the crease. Finds Joya. And Joya pulled the trigger, but saved there by Martell. Joya skip pass to the far side for Work. Back at X now, it's Murphy. Murphy looking for cutters at X. She had Callahan, but decided to hold on to it. Here's Work now. Work to the right side. Passes it back to Murphy. Murphy cutting up towards the middle. She shoots, and that one goes wide. First to the end line, it's the Bearcats. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Joya picking it up. They're going to work fast. Wide open is Christian Schleicher trying to shoot it and doesn't do so, and it looks like there was a violation on Central Michigan. Not sure if the shot clock is going to reset as they never had full possession. As they will reset the shot clock to 3 seconds with 5:18 to go in the second quarter.
Look at potentially Lexi Wolf going to cut in. She might have an open angle.
It's going to be after a quick pass and a quick shot. Needs to either hit one of the posts or be on net. Here's Wolf, works it to Murphy. She shoots, and just wide. So it will be a shot clock violation for the Bearcats.
I like the possession there, working around. 3 seconds left. There's not much you can do, but they still found a way to get a great opportunity and a chance to score. Just wide to right.
Yeah, just a little clock management, game management here already in the second quarter. Martell being pressured there by Ottensmeyer. Can't be too aggressive. Martell trying to throw it. She does so. It was on the ground, and having to pick that up was Madeline Koser. And able to start the clear here on the near side. It's Margaret English. Able to give it to DePrado, who gives it for Wenger. Now to Hinkle. They work it at X for Celia Dow. Dow to Hinkle up to the top off the stick of DeSanto. DeSanto picking up the ground ball. Now here's DePrado. She passed it to her. DePrado on the left side. Down to Hinkle. Hinkle passes it to DePrado. Out of her stick, picking it back up. DePrado trying to cut towards the middle, doesn't do so. Passes it to Dow. Dow at X being pressured by Rich. Rich gets called for a foul, and she's not happy about that. Showing some frustration. Whistle blows. Chippewa still with it. Now here's DePrado. DePrado trying to cut towards the middle. She shoots way over the net. 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Chippewas. They try to go to work. Being pressured there.
3 seconds, they got to do something.
And they just throw it away. McKenna Hoon was looking for a shot, but just couldn't find an angle. And the Bearcats had a shot clock violation, but returned the favor.
Yeah, great defense right there. And like you mentioned at the beginning of the second quarter, the story has been Victoria Marks and Alexa Martell, both the goalkeepers, playing great. So far in this quarter, it's been Victoria Marks for the Bearcats. So far, 7 saves tonight.
Marks has 7 saves on the day. Martell with 3. Hasn't had a save this quarter. The Bearcats picking her apart. Here's Joya trying to work the crease. Try to find Callahan, and that one got off of the knee, it looks like, of Ava Regitz. And it's going to be a yellow card going to Kylie Joya, so the Chippewas will be a man up for 2 minutes with 3:02 to go in the second quarter.
For the Bearcats, not the way to end out the second quarter by having a 2-minute penalty. If you are Kylie Joya and Coach Gina Thomas, now you're giving Central Michigan another opportunity to score and claw their way back inside this game.
Kylie Joya was looking for Cameron Callahan on the cut towards the middle, but ended up getting the ball right in the neck area of Ava Regitz. And unfortunately for Joya, fortunately for the Chippewas, they're a man up now because of it. With it on the left side, it's Dow, passing it down to Hinkle, passing it behind X for Hildebrandt. Back up to Dow, back up to DePrado, back to Hinkle. Working the ball fast is the Chippewas. A pass to the far side, Dow able to catch that. Leaning backwards, passes it to DePrado at the top of the fan to the left side for Dow. Back up to DePrado, finds the cutting Hinkle, she shoots and she scores. Sadie Hinkle able to put it off the crossbar and in, and Central Michigan has their second goal of the day.
Yep, we just mentioned an opportunity for Central Michigan to score and potentially claw their way back inside this game by being a man up for 2 minutes by a penalty by Kylie Joya, and the Central Michigan just working the ball around. They found Hinkle, who was cutting in. Nice pass, got it around the defender for UC. That would be Alexis Rich, and ends up in the back of the net for the Chippewas.
Sadie Hinkle, the junior attackman from Medina, Ohio, up near where you're from, Christian.
Big rep, about 40 minutes away from where I live.
Sadie Hinkle had 18 starts last year with 19 games played, had 32 goals and 14 ground balls on the season. She also had a goal versus UC in 2023 and finds another goal for herself today against the Bearcats. 3 goals and 3 assists on the season. And for the draw control, it's Taya Work and Hannah Wenger. This one shoots out of their sticks, and Callahan able to pick that one up. She's got it, almost reminiscent of Ottensmeyer, but not a full breakaway. Passes it to Geller. Geller looking to shoot, decided to pull up. Waits for subs coming on. Passes it to Joya. Joya looks, trying to cut to the middle. Little shovel pass to Ava Geller. Geller sets up the offense. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Over for Ottensmeyer. Ottensmeyer dodges to her right, cuts to the middle. She shoots and she scores! Lauren Ottensmeyer getting her second of the day, and the Bearcats answer right back.
That one, she's just making it look easy. She got it from outside the perimeter, 12-meter fan, just drove her way in, maneuvered her way around the Chippewa defenders, and got a nice angle at a shot that ends up in the back of the net. Great response by the Bearcats. So it starts with Ottensmeyer driving in from the perimeter, goes around the defenders, and just ends up in the back of the net. Great shot and great finish.
Lauren Ottensmeyer, that's her 11th of the season. Her and Callahan combined for 11 goals against Robert Morris last Sunday. And today they have combined for 5.
UC with 5 different goal scorers too, so they are sharing the wealth and not really depending on 2 to 3 particular players. Everyone's getting in on the share of action today.
It's what you want to see from this Bearcats offense. I know Gina Thomas has got to be happy about that in her 12th season.
And this year for Central Michigan, their opponent has averaged about 36 shots per game, and so far, with 150 left to go in the first half, the Bearcats have 21 shots already and 13 shots on goal.
This draw control is still on the ground. Being pushed over was Josie Allen by Haley Joyce Simpson. So it'll be Chippewa's ball. Picking it up and running with it is McKenna Hoon, working the far side of the field. Errant pass somehow comes to DePrado. Central Michigan will start the work on the offense. Working it around, Dow at X. Dow looking to Hinkle. Hinkle up to the top now. She's got Davis across for Edwards. Edwards on the right side, coming towards the middle, gives it to Prado on the left hash. Prado working to the center, passes it across for Davis. Davis getting it now from Hoon. Passes it to Hinkle, now it's Dow on the far side of the cage. Chippewa still working with it. Hoon back down, it's Hildebrandt. Up to the top for Edwards. Edwards trying to cut on Geller. Doesn't do so, back to DePrado. Over for Davis. Davis, a little spin move to the left. Now here's Hinkle. She's already got a goal, and that shot just goes wide.
8-second differential between game clock and shot clock.
32 seconds to go in the quarter. 20 seconds on the shot clock. An errant pass. Still kept up, though, by the Chippewas. Here's DePrado. Giving it to Hinkle. Now to Dow. Across for Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt switches sticks and gives it. And a shot there by McKenna Hoon goes wide. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Dow just throwing it away as the shot clock violation was coming. 5 seconds and counting. And the Bearcats are just going to hold it here to end the half. So Bearcats up 10-2 against the Central Michigan Chippewas. A hat trick from Cameron Callahan. 2 goals from Lauren Ottensmeyer and Kylie Joya. And Ava Geller, Elizabeth Murphy, and Grace Jenny all tacking on 1 as well. So as we head to halftime, we'll be back. Bearcats up 10-2. You're listening to UC Women's Lacrosse on Bearcats Radio. Welcome back inside Nippert Stadium alongside Christian Pagan. I'm Alex Perez. 1:36 until the teams start the second half. Bearcats up 10-2. Bearcats, like you said, Christian, we're playing with tempo, and in the first 2 minutes of each quarter, had 2 goals in the first quarter, had 3 goals in the second quarter, and they're playing with tempo all game.
Yeah, and that tempo has been really making the Central Michigan defense confused, and it's really been messing with them. And the Bearcats have done a great job because tempo has been paving the way for their success, as you mentioned, in this game so far, scoring a couple goals in only a couple seconds, like we saw in the second quarter. 2 goals in 35 seconds, and they did a similar feat in the first quarter too, so the tempo has been really causing problems for the Chippewas, and looks like we'll continue to see a tempo for the Bearcats in the second half.
Yeah, Bearcats in second quarters this year had been outscored 11-6 by opponents. This time they switched up that stat line, outscoring Central Michigan 6-1 in the second quarter, had 4 goals in the first. Cameron Callahan with a hat trick, Lauren Otensmeyer with 2 goals, as well as Kylie Joya, and then Ava Geller, Elizabeth Murphy, and Grace Jenny all tacking on a goal. And then on the Chippewa side, Sadie Hinkle scoring the most recent goal for the Chippewas, and Sky DePrado finally finding herself back on the goal side of things. Had 6 goals against Butler, has 1 today, and an assist as well.
And another thing is, I believe in the second quarter, I mentioned the draw controls on how Central Michigan was winning that battle 5-1. Now you see just right behind 6 and 7 in the draw control battle.
Yeah, able to out-draw control them 5-2 in that second quarter. So Bearcats coming back onto the field. As you take a look, Cincinnati leads 21-16 on the shots, 13 of them on goal, 9 on shots on goal for Central Michigan. Marks with 7 saves, Alexa Martell with 3. The Bearcats 9 ground balls to Central Michigan 6. Central Michigan also with 13 turnovers, and Cincinnati causing 6 of those. Cincinnati with 8 turnovers, with Central Michigan causing 3. So to take away the play-by-play for the third quarter is Christian Pagan. Take it away, Christian.
Thank you, Alex. So for the draw control, it would be Teo Work for UC and Hannah Wenger for Central Michigan. Bearcats are up 10-2 to start off the second half. There's a fight for it, and UC will end up with a draw control. This will be Ava Geller. Crossfield pass caught by Murphy. Murphy passes it off to Onsmeyer. Onsmeyer inside the 12-meter fan. Going to drive in left side. Thought about it, but pulls out, gives it out to Joya. Joya pressured by the Chippewa defense. Goes outside the 12-meter fan into the end zone, in the C paw of the north end zone. Bearcats want some magic. Inside shot. That is no good. Looks like it was Onsmeyer. Looks like that one went wide right, but overall a great look by the Bearcats to begin the second half.
That was a great setup offense, too. They had multiple picks inside, right at the center hash of the 8-meter fan, and Lauren Onsmeyer just spins off the pick and able to find some open space on the backside. Just unfortunately couldn't put it in.
And Onsmeyer commits the foul. I believe that was a yellow card that was shown by the referee, so Central Michigan will be a man up for 2 minutes. Abigail Lair was driving with it on the right side near the 20-yard line when the foul occurred and looked back towards the ref as it was a late whistle. So 52 seconds into the half, and the Bearcats have already committed a penalty.
Bearcats last year led the AAC in fouls, something Gina Thomas was not proud of. And they definitely want to cut down this year.
It's a bad pass by the Chippewas. Breakaway, it's going to be Callahan. Callahan's going to drive in, shoots off the ground, and that one ends up in the back of the net. Cameron Callahan, 4 goals for number 4.
Cameron Callahan, just an absolute stunning player she has been this year as well as last year. 56 goals, leading all freshmen in NCAA D1. Alexa Martell was helping the Central Michigan Chippewas on the clear and just came out a little too far, and it was an errant pass. And I believe it was Ava Geller also helping Callahan on the pass, able to get to her, but hustling back too was the Chippewa defense. I thought for sure that was Ava Regitz was going to catch up to her.
And throughout this game, we've seen Alexa Martell for Central Michigan, the goalie. She's been having the ball a lot because the Bearcats are bringing pressure, and I was believing one of these times a bad pass will basically give the Bearcats a breakaway towards the goal and catch her off guard and out of position. And looks like right there, that was one of those situations as she was not set. And before you know it, Cameron Callahan is right there about to score.
Can never sleep on Cameron Callahan, like you say, Christian. 4 for number 4.
Draw control would be won by the Chippewas as a foul is called on Central Michigan. That will send Hannah Wenger to the box, the penalty box, the yellow card. Bearcats are up 11-2 with 13:41 left to go. Onsmeyer still in the penalty box. So both teams now have one player in the penalty box apiece.
Callahan scored that goal, too. A man down, almost as if she were shorthanded in hockey. Usually a rare goal for the team that's a man down, but Callahan able to find a way.
Bearcats working around. Geller has it outside the 12-meter fan at the top of the key around the 20-yard line in between the hashes. She goes towards the right hash, drives in towards the 8-meter fan, cuts back to the left, shoots, and that is saved by Martell. Chippewas catch a break. Can they convert on offense? Chippewas have it. This will be Hoon crosses the 40 on the right side, gets into the attacking 30 of the Chippewas. Chippewas are down by 9. They need to start answering and start scoring if they want to call themselves back into this game. Behind the net will be Hildebrandt. Working it around. Davis. This will be number 6, Sandy Edwards has it, gives it off to Hoon. Hoon back out to Edwards. At the top of the 12-meter perimeter fan, inside pass to Hinkle, and that one is thrown away. But a foul will be called, looks like on UC, so this will be a free position shot for the Chippewas.
A nice catch, too, there from Sadie Hinkle. Kind of had it handcuffed. Was able to catch it low below her knees. Try to get a quick shot off, but it was just wide.
Hinkle will have a free position shot from the 8-meter fan. Shoots, and that one ends up in the back of the net for Sadie Hinkle, the junior from Medina, Ohio. That's her second goal of the game.
Again, too, just creating that chance by getting inside the 8-meter fan. Cincinnati is a physical team, and lacrosse is a physical game. They're bound to take penalties, but just able to work inside and off the free position, just has a quick shot past the left side of Victoria Marks.
Hinkle with her 4th goal of the season. Started in 18 of 19 games last year, had 32 goals, and in 2021 was a USA All-American. Here for Central Michigan, she has her second goal of the night. Chippewas cut the deficit down to 8 with 12:21 left to go in this match.
Another thing for Hinkle, too, is last game she had 5 turnovers against Vanderbilt, and so far has taken care of the ball today. So good to see Sadie Hinkle getting on the board and taking care of the ball.
Looks like Hinkle will participate in the draw control. That would be Emily Gargan for Central Michigan, but the draw control is won by UC. There's a fight for it, ends up in the stick of UC, and a foul is called, but possession will continue. Onsmeyer has it, gives it off, crossfield pass. Galler shoots, saved, but a foul is called. And it will be Chippewa ball with 11 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Both teams subbing. Right now, this is 22. Josie Allen has it in her defensive third. Gives it off to Regetz. Regetz will cross midfield. Chippewas on the counterattack will need to respond if they want a chance to still be in this game down by 8. Chippewas working around in the end zone. Gives it off. Edwards inside, and a push committed by UC defender Alexis Rich that will step another free position shot for the Chippewas. And this will be Sky DePrado to take it near the left hash in the 8-meter fan. Whistle blows. DePrado will shoot, and that is saved by Victoria Marks. Marks has her 8th save of the night, and the Bearcats are on the counterattack.
What a save, too, by Marks. I mean, that was just an absolute rip from Sky DePrado. And Marks able to just track that ball all the way to her stick, and that pass was just way over the head of Elizabeth Murphy.
Joya tried a cross-field pass from the UC sideline all the way across to what would be the opponent's sideline in football. Is a turnover, and it will be Chippewa ball.
The crossfield, too, is 60 yards wide, so that was about a 55-yard launch. Just way over the head, just too much steam on it.
There's a point where the Bearcats still want to be aggressive, but not too aggressive and commit cross-field passes like that are 50-plus yards.
You know, and I play hockey, and hockey's a similar game to lacrosse, and you never want to make those tough passes. I mean, I get she's wide open on the far side, but making the 5-10-yard passes is a lot easier than trying to make a 50-yard pass.
Reggett's had it for Central Michigan, and she loses it. And a foul is called on Reggett's, and a timeout will be taken. Bearcats are up 11-3 with 10:30 left to go in the third quarter so far. Alex, what strikes you on UC's play?
Like you said, they're trying to be aggressive, but you don't want to be too aggressive. I think they've done a good job so far. They seem to be a little bit more physical. Not sure if the refs are blowing their whistles a little bit more, but Alexis Rich has had 3 whistles blown on her so far. One eventually led to a goal, and then that last free position was also on Rich. So Bearcats still trying to play physical and just keep their game. I mean, play with tempo. Play with tempo in the transition game. You don't need to necessarily work the ball so fast inside the offense. You already have an 8-goal lead. Just trying to do some clock management here.
And if you're Central Michigan and Coach Amelia Ward, what are you telling your team right now down by 8 in the third quarter?
You're down by 8, but you've gotten your scoring chances. You're working the ball around. You know, Cincinnati is a relentless defense. They're a tough defense, but you know that Cincinnati's going to play physical. If you can find a way to get the girls inside of the 8-meter fan and get them to take those fouls, get those yellow cards, get those green cards, even get free position shots out of them, you know, one's bound to fall. I mean, Victoria Makers is standing on her head with 8 saves, but again, lacrosse is a game of chances. If you give a good team so many chances, they're going to capitalize eventually.
And you mentioned it perfectly, giving a team chances. And when you look at UC, 25 shots, 16 of those are on goal. And it's going to come to a point where those shots are going to start falling in, especially when you have 16 shots on goal that convert to 11 goals for the Bearcats.
Victoria Makers is a great goalie, but she still has 3 by them.
Coming into this game, UC averaged 10.3 goals per game. They surpassed that mark here early on in the third quarter as both teams disperse from their huddles. It will be UC ball right at the 50-yard line.
And that was a good timeout, too, by Gina Thomas as I believe it was Fedorovich on the near sideline, was about to get pushed out of bounds, but had possession of the ball. She was losing her footing, but Gina Thomas recognized that and called the timeout, so that way the Bearcats stayed with the ball coming outside of the timeout. Good IQ play there from Gina Thomas. A nice little sidestep, too, from Callahan.
Joya gives off to Joyce Simpson. Joyce Simpson inside the 12-meter fan, backs out, lets the offense develop, and gives it to Callahan. Callahan left side of Joya. Bearcats will work it around the goal, looking for a cut or a crease. Murphy gives it off to Ottensmeyer. 8-meter fan. She's going to drive in, shoots, and that one's wide off the mark of the left side, but the Bearcats will retain possession. Murphy has it near the X to the right side. Inside pass. Kylie Joya behind the back. Unbelievable.
What a shot by Kylie Joya for a hat trick goal. She puts a little flash on there, And almost like Jill Smith's goal, behind the back, catches it, a little quick flip behind her back into the top left of the cage. Kylie Joya, look for her on SportsCenter Top 10 later. What a beautiful goal.
What a way to get your third goal of the day.
And she was stunting. She was flashy. She didn't need to do that. She had plenty of space to shoot on her forehand, but said, you know what? I'm going to show what I'm made of. I'm going to show this Chippewa defense they cannot stop me because this is my third goal of the day. What a goal by Kylie Joya.
Incredible effort. Like you mentioned, we were on the call of the Michigan UC game, and Jill Smith did the exact same thing on the other side of the field in the south goal. This time, Kylie Joya says, I'm going to do it myself.
She took some notes from Jill Smith. Kylie Joya had 4 hat tricks over 6 games last year. Give her a hat trick this season.
Draw control is won by Central Michigan, but it is stolen by the Bearcats. Joya has it, crosses the 30 into the attacking third. Joya and the Bearcats, they want more, up by 9 with 9:25 left to go in this game. In the third quarter. Murphy has it behind the goal. Murphy looking for a cutting Bearcat. Goes towards the right X, gives off to Onsmeyer. Onsmeyer inside the hashes, inside the 8-meter fan. She will shoot, and that one ends up in the back of the net. The Bearcats are just rolling on here in this game.
Lauren Ottensmeyer with another hat trick this season, her third. And I said at the top before of the broadcast, I said count on Callahan, Ottensmeyer, and Joya getting a hat trick. We have Callahan, we have Ottensmeyer. We just need Joya to get 2 more. What a shot, too, by Ottensmeyer. Just beating her man, Natalie DeSanto, to the right. Able to get her to commit to the left. Ottensmeyer cuts to the right, shoots against the grain. And a 10-goal lead for the Bearcats, and now a running clock.
Bearcats are just letting it pour and are tearing apart the Chippewas' defense here in the third quarter. Bearcats up 13-3. That is Ottensmeyer's 12th goal of the season. Her third tonight, as Alex mentioned, a hat trick.
She had also 1 goal last year against Central Michigan in that 9-4 win for the Bearcats. And this time she decided to tack on 2 more, and probably still counting.
Draw control was fought for and won by UC. Inside Callahan, and the Bearcats are just unstoppable. Just like that. With the running clock, the Bearcats only need a few seconds to go 50 yards. They now lead by 11.
Just a good pass there from Lexi Wolf. Finding Callahan, and Callahan just has speed like no other. Able to just run by the defense inside the 8-meter fan. I mean, it was good positioning, too, from Madeline Koser. But Cameron Callahan, just good defense, sometimes better offense from number 4.
Cameron Callahan, 5 goals tonight off of 7 shots, and the Bearcats have a 14-3 lead with 7:54 left to go in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break here on Bearcats Sports Radio. And we welcome you back here to Nippert Stadium on this fine Friday afternoon. Bearcats are up 14-3 against Central Michigan. So far in the third quarter, Bearcats outscoring the Chippewas 4-1. And the Bearcats are looking to add on to that lead with 7:54 left to go in the third quarter. Draw control is fought for, and once again is won by UC. This will be Lexi Wolf has it, gives it off to Murphy. Murphy outside, the 12-meter fan gives it to Onsmeyer. Onsmeyer wraps around, she's going to shoot. That one is wide left, but the Bearcats will regain possession and will try again.
Onsmeyer loves shooting those tough angle shots. She has some skill, just hasn't been able to find the goal every single time.
Dakota has it, gives it off. Looks like Murphy, no, excuse me. This is going to be Onsmeyer, has it top of the 12-meter perimeter fan. She shoots, that one's wide off the mark once again. This time wide left.
She had a better angle that time, just shot it wide.
Dakota has it behind the net. Murphy gives it back off to Dakota. Looking, they're going to give it off to Onsmeyer at the 20. 12-meter fan, right hash. Onsmeyer gives it off. It's be cutting inside Murphy. Murphy shoots, and it's just too easy for the Bearcats. They extend their lead to 12, up 15-3. With the running clock, as you mentioned, 6:25 left to go on this match.
And Elizabeth Murphy, too. Sadie Edwards just got caught, stuck in the mud. Murphy was cutting towards her left and then just quickly cut back to her right, which had a wide open lane. Sandy Edwards was just not ready for the cutback. And Elizabeth Murphy just had a walk right down Broadway, and then there's going to be a goalkeeper change. Looks like Layla Kaler is going to be in goal now for the Chippewas.
That is Elizabeth Murphy's fourth goal of the season, and today for her, 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists on 4 shots. For the draw control for UC, this will be Haley Joy Simpson going against Emily Gargan, going against Hannah Wenger. Central Michigan has it on the on the attack. Central Michigan down by 12, 5 minutes left to go in this match. This be Farrar, gives it off to Davis. Wenger has it outside the 12-meter fan. Davis has it at the right hash. Poked away, but regains possession, and a foul will be called on UC, so the Chippewas will retain possession.
I believe Ava LaRuffa extended her arms. Not allowed to do that.
Central Michigan pressuring. This will be DePrato. DePrato gives it off to Davis, and another foul is called, presumably on UC.
I believe it's going to be a 3-second violation. Defender is not allowed to be inside of the 8-meter fan for more than 3 seconds unless they are defending someone. Almost similar to basketball's 3-second violation rule.
This will be DePrato for the free position shot. Decides she will pass it around. Chippewas working around the net. This is Davis has it at the 12-meter fan. Chippewas need to do something. Down but not out. DePrato has it at the 15-yard line. Central Michigan, we're trying to work it around, and a nice shot attempt by Anna Farrar. Unique pass to get it in, but overall cannot capitalize, but Central Michigan still has possession. Davis, spin move, still has it, gives it off to DePrato. High pass, gets away, and that will be a foul call on the Bearcats.
Sophia Finati just getting a little too aggressive, but the shot clock ended anyways.
So she'll throw it away, and the Bearcats will take possession. Bearcats up 15-3 with 3 minutes left to go in this game. Allie Keith has it, gives it off to Joya. Whistle blows. And a green card is given.
Might have been too many men or offsides for the Chippewas. It looks like it was too many men. So some substitution errors.
So Anna Farrar sits down in the penalty box. So the Bearcats will be a man up for the next minute. Murphy gives it off. Geller. Geller decided about it. Nope. Passes off inside Joya. That one is saved.
Kylie Joya tried to go behind the back once again. Almost a little too fancy. I don't think Gina Thomas is too happy about that one. Might work once. Let's try to work it again, but Kaler able to read that all the way.
On the counterattack for Central Michigan, Davis gives it off to DePrado behind the net. Chippewas working it around. Davis passes off. That's going to be Kylie Barat. DePrado gives it back. 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And a foul is called, presumably on UC. It looks like on Alexis Rich, the defender.
Out of the box now is Anna Farrar. So we are even.
DePrado will have a free position shot from the 12-meter fan, but Chippewas will pass it around. Farrar gives it off. This will be Serap. Gives off to DePrado. Inside. That one's poked away, and another foul is called on UC. 1:20 left to go in the third quarter.
And that was Alexis Rich. I believe that's her 5th or 6th whistle.
Yeah, she's had quite a few whistles called on hers as Chippewas try to work around. Davis has it. Tries to go inside. It was Farrar. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Chippewas need to do something. Cutting inside, missed, but Chippewas, 10 seconds left, have to do something. Davis, inside, just too much. Another foul is called on guess who?
I believe that's Kimora Bailey.
Oh.
It did look like Alexis Rich. It did look like Alexis Rich, but they had the same hairstyle. But no, that was Kimora Bailey. I thought for sure, too, that was Alexis Rich, and then I saw the number and realized it was Bailey.
So Sarab will take the free position shot from the right hash of the 8-meter fan. Waiting for the whistle. Brings it out. Chippewas try to work it around. DePrado. DePrado takes the contact. That's going to be an offensive foul. Bearcats on the counterattack.
Aneva Geller celebrating the contact. Got up with a fist pump in the air.
Murphy has it. 20 seconds left. Bearcats want to capitalize. Ottensmeyer has it at the 20-yard line. Drops back to the 25, the left hash. 10 seconds left.
And it looks like they're going to hold it for the possession at the start of the fourth quarter.
Bearcats outscore the Chippewas 5-1 here in the third quarter and take a 15-3 lead here at Nippert Stadium. So far, what do you like out the Bearcats, or at least what did you see in that third quarter for UC?
Again, tempo was the key to today's game for the Bearcats, and they capitalized on the tempo. Scored 4 goals in that third quarter within 3.5 minutes. First quarter scored 2 goals in the first 2.5 minutes, and then in the first 2 minutes of the second quarter scored 3 goals. So you combine that, you're looking at about 8.5 minutes with 8 goals. Tempo, tempo, tempo. That's all they've been doing. They've just been moving the ball fast breaks, and they've been able to capitalize on every single chance.
Bearcats are too fast for the Chippewas, and they're slowly running them out of Cincinnati. We'll take a quick break here on the Bearcat Sports Radio with your Bearcats up 15-3 to begin the fourth quarter. We'll be right back.
Here we are back at historic Nippert Stadium for the start of the fourth quarter, where the Bearcats hold a 12-goal lead, 15 for the Bearcats, 3 for the Chippewas. In the cage now for the Bearcats is freshman Haley Darko. Had 3 goals against in 5 minutes versus Marquette. She found herself with 2 saves, though, against Robert Morris. She was the #1 goalie in Georgia in high school in 2022 and in 2023. Also played 13 minutes in the game versus Robert Morris before letting Ashley Lapp take over for her. So Haley Darko seeing some action today. Alongside Christian Pagan, I am Alex Perez. Bearcats just been dominant today.
I think dominant might be an understatement. They've had total control of this game from every quarter, every aspect of the game. They've been dominant. And a key point, transition. Bearcats have been great in transition. They've been running the tempo and just controlling possession against the Chippewas.
As the Chippewas do win that draw control, so they'll start the setup of the offense. Kamora Bailey still in the box, and a shot there from Anna Farrar, falling hard. And it looks like she is going to go to the box, but they might also be taking Ava LaRuffa. So Cincy might be 2 men down. Chippewas might be without a man, so almost. It's going to be a yellow card going to Anna Farrar as Amelia Ward makes substitutions. LaRuffa will stay on. Looks like the referees are going to come together, talking about what they saw happen. With 14:20 to go in the fourth quarter.
It's kind of hard to see what happened up here. No replays being shown either, but the ref just showed another yellow card.
And it looks like it's going to go to Grace Jenny. There was multiple sticks flying in and around the crease from both sides as Anna Farrar was trying to get a shot off. Gina Thomas asking for an explanation from the referee. Referee coming together to talk to both head coaches, Gina Thomas and Amelia Ward, at the substitution box right at the 50-yard line. So Bearcats will be 2 men down. Central Michigan with a man down, but Central Michigan still a man up on the field.
One of those rare cases where you see a double, even triple penalty. 3 players in the box right now. So I got a question for you then. So they only provide 2 chairs, and what I call it the penalty box. All right, each side gets 2 chairs. Like, imagine there's like 4 penalties. Right? So do they just like stand up behind the other players?
You know, I've actually never seen that, and I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. I know that, you know, like I said earlier, hockey and lacrosse are kind of similar. I know in hockey you can only have a minimum of 3 players on the ice, and the 4, including the goalie. So if a third person gets a penalty, they just have to sit in the box with them. And it's a tiny box, but luckily this one's a little bit bigger, with about 10 yards. Nonetheless, the Chippewas start 2 players up, or excuse me, a player up. And they work it around. And shooting space is called on Hirschman, so getting a free position chance is McKenna Hoon. She'll be on the right hash of the fan.
Central Michigan, 2 of 9 today on free position shots.
And they pull out and decide to start the offense. Here's Sarup. Up to the top for DePrado. Back to Sarup. Looks, another pass. Down to Hinkle. Back behind for DeSanto. Being released from the box is Kamora Bailey, so right now we're even. And we will remain even until both of them come out of the box. Grace Jenny and Anna Farrar. Here's a shot from DePrado, and just out of her stick, getting the feed there from DeSanto. The ground ball picked up by Danny Milkvey.
So DePrado was surrounded by 3 Bearcat defenders, and she still somehow got that pass. We see some great passes by Central Michigan today.
Yeah, like you said earlier, they were threading the needle. Definitely threaded that one. As the Bearcats start to clear, here's Haley Joy Simpson entering the restraining line. Gives it to, that's Murphy. Works it at X for Joya. Joya showing some flash today. We'll give it off to Onsmeyer. Cutting into the 8-meter fan. She looks, she shoots, and just over the net. Ottensmeyer's been looking for that top left for the past 3 shots, and all of them been just going wide.
And a lot of movement we've seen is that the Bearcats have just been beating the defender by going from hash to hash, and they just find a way to get around their defender.
Here's Murphy. Had a chance to shoot, but I believe shooting space was called, so she'll get a free position on the right hash. Elizabeth Murphy with 2 goals today. Can she make it a hat trick with this free position? Bearcats are 1 for 2 today. Whistle blows. She goes. She shoots a bouncing ball. And just wide of the cage, but first to the end line was Kirsten Schleicher. 12:08 to go in the quarter. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Ottensmeyer at the top of the fan. Out to Murphy. She gets inside the 12-meter fan, looking to get inside the 8-meter fan. Pulls it back out. Over to Simpson. Simpson, a little dodge. Gets a little push to the head. No call. Simpson still with the ball. Back at X for Dakota. Dakota finds a shot, scores! Caroline Soller! Caroline Soller out of Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Marymount High School, able to find her first goal of the season and her first goal as a Bearcat in NCAA.
Hometown kid, getting her first career goal. That was a great finish by Solar. Just found a crease because the Bearcats have been working the ball around. Great pass inside. That's a great finish by Caroline Solar.
Just a great pass, too, by Lindsay Dakota. That's her 3rd assist of the day. Dakota, she loves feeding the ball. Last year, Bearcats played Davidson. Won that game 13-12 in overtime. Dakota had the game-tying assists as well as the game-winning assists to Grace Whalen. And Lindsay Dakota, 3 assists on the day. What a feed from her, too.
Bearcats have every aspect of the game that's just been great. Great ball movement, great finishing, total domination.
Caroline Soller was a USA All-American in high school. Also an Ohio High School Athletic Association D2 Midfielder of the Year. With the ball now is Ava Geller, pulling it out after the draw control win from the Bearcats. Megan Young with it. Gives it to Dakota. Working the ball around into the Bearcats. Here's Murphy. Murphy looking. She's got it. Gives it up to Harper Clopton. Clopton with it, the junior out of Swampscott, Massachusetts. Geller back up at the top of the fan, trying to cut to the 8 meter. She looks, she shoots right into the stick of Kaler. Ava Geller's hungry for another. Has one today, her only of the season. As the Central Michigan Chippewas start to clear in and out of the stick, though. That was number 15, Margaret English. She's out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Just a couple of hours away. On the near side with it now is Allen. She finds Ava Regitz in the center. Able to get across the restraining line and give it to DePrado. DePrado down to Hinkle. Back at X for Dow. Over for Barrett. Barrett. Here's DeSanto at the top. Over for DePrado on the left side. To the right side now. Cutting to her right is Hoon. Back to DeSanto. Fakes a shot. Pulls it out. Gives it to Hoon. Hoon at X for Dow. Dow looking, trying to work the crease. Gives it to Hinkle. Hinkle. She's surrounded by 2 defensemen. Just throws the ball away. It's a race for it. And this one finally picked up by the Bearcats.
Expect a fast counterattack here by the Bearcats.
Here's Clopton with it. Defending that from Hinkle. Gives it off to Milkfee, who will give it across for Kimora Bailey. Seeing her first action of the year. That one off the stick of Megan Young, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Chippewa ball. They will start the clear. 8:08 to go here in the game. Bearcats with a 16-3 lead. 3 separate goal scorers with hat tricks. Joya, Ottensmeyer, and Callahan. Callahan with 5. A crossfield pass. It's Barrett. She's got it. Down to Dow. Over for Hinkle. Up to DePrado to the right side of the fan. Try to find a cutting DeSanto past her, but able to get to it first is Elena Davis. We'll give it to Barrett. Back behind X for Dow. Dow trying to cut on Kimora Bailey. Up to the left side of the fan for DePrado. DePrado to the left side for DeSanto. DeSanto looking for the right side. She finds Davis. Davis back to DeSanto in the 8-meter fan, trying to get around 2 defenders, but out of her stick and into the stick of Haley Darko as the Bearcats start the clear. Milkfee and Geller were all over her. A pass from Rich to Bailey. Skipping a hop off of her shin. Bailey able to pick it back up and find Alexis Rich on the near side. Passing it now to Malia Adams. And Malia Adams just kind of trucked over Sky DePrado. Gina Thomas saying that DePrado initiated the contact.
Looked like a little bit of a hit stick almost.
Malia Adams, yeah. Just a bit of a bull rush. Seeing her first action this year with 6:37 to go in the 4th quarter. So Bearcats will be a man down. Was that a yellow or a green card? Well, green. Okay, it was a green card. I didn't see it. Looked at my sheet for a quick second, and ref pulled a fast one on me. Chippewas working it around. It's DePrado at the top of the fan. Over to the right side for Davis on the far side. Here's Barrett down at the extended goal line. Back at X for Dow. Passing it to Hinkle. Hinkle has a wide open chance to the crease, and she scores. Getting it short side past Haley Darko.
Took contact, too, after that shot.
And they actually might call the foul before the goal. So it looks like the goal is not going to count, but it is going to be a free position chance for Sadie Hinkle. She already has 2. Haley Darko slamming the post, knowing she wanted to have that one back as it snuck by her short side. And they don't take the shot. They pull out. Here's Davis to Barrett. Barrett at the extended goal line. Back at X for Dow. Up to Hinkle. Hinkle across for DeSanto. Now to DePrado. Over for Davis. Davis passing it to DePrado. DePrado able to sidestep a couple of defenders. Tried to find DeSanto in open space, but just past her. And picking up the ground ball there was Hinkle. They settle down the offense. Here's Barrett at the extended goal line on the far side. Back at X for Dow, being pressured by Alexis Rich. 30 seconds on the shot clock. 5:05 to go in the quarter, on the ground, and Kamora Bailey Alexis Rich able to pick up the ball. Bearcats start the clear. Here's Danny Milkvey. Passing it to Grace Jenny. Out of her stick, able to pick up the ground ball. Gives it to the far side for Bailey. Here's Young with it for the Bearcats. Across now. That's number 8 for the Bearcats, Paris Alexander. Seeing some action today. She'll give it over to number 37, Lily Stelzer. She's a freshman. A lot of freshmen seeing some action today. Grace Jenny with it. Passes it over to Young. Young on the left hash. Trying to dodge to her right. Being defended there. Thought about passing it to Malia Adams, but then skips her and gives it to Paris Alexander. Alexander sidestepping. Trying to cut to the right. Pass it back out and just out of the stick of Lily Stelzer and out of bounds. That's a turnover from the Bearcats. 4:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Bearcats up 16-3. The Chippewas starting the clear. On the far side, out of her stick was Madeline Koser, but picked up by Barrett. Kelsey Barrett, the sophomore, gives it down to Dow. And now out of the stick for Lily Sorensen. She'll give it back to Dow. Passing it over for Hinkle. Hinkle up to Davis. Davis at the top of the fan now for Hoon. Hoon tried to dodge down, but was closed off. With the now is Sorensen, now to Dow. Dow at X gets pushed hard by Alexis Rich. And again, another whistle on Alexis Rich. Chippewas start with it. 43 seconds on the shot clock. They try to work it to the top. Here's Hoon. Hoon trying to cut down to the right side. Gives it at X now for Hinkle. Hinkle up to the left side of the fan for DeSanto. Throwing it to Davis in the middle of the fan. And now inside the 8-meter fan trying to throw an underhand shot was McKenna Hoon. Just wide. Chippewas still with the ball. Rich being aggressive but can't get the ball. It's DeSanto with it on the right side. Gives it across, and a shot score there by McKenna Hoon. And Central Michigan able to tack on 1 goal in each quarter at least.
And also a unique thing about Central Michigan is that even though they will fall to 0-4 this year, all 4 losses have come on the road. They have not had a home game yet. So I'm sure this team will be excited to get out that away road stretch and begin their homestand with their next matchup against Canisius. But that can be really exhausting and tough on a team when you have to go on the road for 3 to 4 games in a row. It's very tough. You know, they played at Butler, at Notre Dame, at Vanderbilt, at Cincinnati. Next matchup at home versus Canisius.
Yeah, travel is also definitely something you want to take in consideration when looking at teams' records, especially when you face tough opponents like Notre Dame, like Vanderbilt, who they both lost to by double-digit goals. You know, being able to get a homestand and get yourself into a rhythm, you know, sleeping in your own bed, you know, having home-cooked meals, it definitely plays a part in how you play versus when you're in a hotel bed, you know, getting hotel breakfast and meals provided by the team.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it definitely can affect you mentally as a whole team because they can be exhausting. You know, these road trips are not easy, especially like you said, playing great opponents on the road. It is not easy, and it can be really, really exhausting. So I'm sure this team will be excited to get back on campus, practice their own facilities, and, you know, just get their homestand going.
Yeah, looking at the Bearcats' schedule, they travel to Indianapolis to face Butler, who the Chippewas lost to by a score of 1. The final score in that game was 13-12. And then the Bearcats, you know, like you said, home field advantage is a very big advantage. They have a 3-game homestand. Their next game, away game, is 20 minutes away at Xavier on March 10th. So you have about 3 weeks where you're just chilling at home, you know, getting the practices in, don't have to worry about traveling. You can get up at a decent time and not have to worry about catching a bus at 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah, and definitely those Those moments are definitely beneficial as a team. I'm sure me and you both played sports in high school. Going on the road can be fun, but there's also a time where it can get kind of exhausting, especially when you're playing a couple games in a week.
Exactly, and to take in the draw control, Taya Work along with Hannah Wenger. Wenger for the Chippewas. Taya Work for the Bearcats, and the Bearcats win it. This one picked up by Brinley Hopper, the freshman.
Just another quick thought. I'm sorry to interrupt. Going back to my senior year of high school, my volleyball season, I believe we started our first 7 games on the road. And it was our 8th game that we had was our home opener, game 8 of the season. And there's always something about playing on your home field, home court, ice, whatever it may be. And I'm sure the team will be excited to get back into that.
As that shot is from Megan Young, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, able to put her first goal of the season right between the wickets of Layla Kaler.
Megan Young from Bay Village, Ohio, about 15 minutes away from where I grew up, gets another goal for the Bearcats and once again found a crease. Just working the ball around will provide a crease for the Bearcats. She's Megan Young with a nice spin move inside the 8-meter fan against her defender, got a little bit of space, shot it from about 9 yards out. That was a tough angle, and that's a great finish for the Bearcats.
Megan Young, number 25 against Madeline Koser, number 25. She showed who the better 25 was there. So Bearcats up 17-4, a minute 5 to go with a running clock. And unless there is a foul, this minute will just keep running. Draw control 1 by the Chippewas. Just a great game and a great effort from the Bearcats today. And they're going to find themselves at 2-2, taking on Butler on Sunday. DeSanto will give it to Davis. Chippewa looking for one last goal to end the game. Here's Barrett. Back at X, it's Dow. She'll give it to Sorensen. Sorensen up to the top for DeSanto on the left side. Now to the right side, it's Hoon. Over to the far side for Davis. Davis cutting towards the middle. And she'll work it back at X. Here's Dow. In and out of her stick and into the crease where Haley Darko will control it. 10 seconds to go. Danny Milkfee with it on the clear. She'll just run with it in her stick. She finds Megan Young. Able to give it to Paris Alexander coming off the bench. Gets pushed from behind, and that will do it. Bearcats improved to 2-2 on the season with an impressive 17-4 victory over Central Michigan.
Outscoring their opponents in their last 2 games, 32-4. Bearcats, after a tough start to the season, get 2 nice wins to help bring that mojo back to this squad, and it showed today, defeating the Chippewas 17-4 in dominant fashion.
Bearcats led by sophomore Cameron Callahan with 5 goals on 7 shots. Lauren Ottensmeyer and Kylie Joya each tacking on 3. Elizabeth Murphy finding 2 goals with 2 assists. Ava Geller getting her first goal of the season. Grace Jenny, Megan Young, and Caroline Soller all tacking on 1. Just like you said, Christian, earlier in the broadcast, just feeding the ball, giving all the Bearcats a chance to score.
Sharing the wealth. That's what it was. And it showed today in the box score and on the field. Everyone's getting involved, and this is a total team effort. From the goalie all the way up to the attack, great team effort by the Bearcats.
So the Bearcats will travel to Indianapolis at 1 p.m. They take on the Butler Bulldogs. And then next home game will be February 29th, Leap Day, at 4 p.m. here at Nippert Stadium for starting a 3-game homestand. They play Youngstown State February 29th. On March 3rd, they will take on Kent State at 12 p.m. and Louisville on March 6th at 12 p.m. as well. So for Christian Pagan, I'm Alex Perez. So long. Thank you guys so much for listening to the UC Women's Lacrosse here on Bearcats Radio.